Whether my screen is visible to all?
Yes,
Feasible,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So just we will wait for 1 minute. Whether Prashant Mali admitted, Prashant Mali, whether he has joined the meeting or not. Prashant Mali. Okay. Good. Uh, in last lecture, we have started this chapter, chapter number 2, freehand sketching of machine components. So, what we have studied in this chapter. So, first part, hardly 10% syllabus of this chapter we have covered. In chapter number 1, we have studied BIS conventions. So, here we are going to say freehand sketching of machine components. So, there will be various machine components we are going to study, in which we are going to study freehand sketching of various components. Okay. So now uh, let us see. Let us see what we have studied in last lecture. So let's revise. Then after we will go for next syllabus. So what we have studied. So at the first only I have told what is the importance of freehand sketching. We are having though we are having n number of tools to draw the any kind of drawing, maybe right from drafting tools to the software. So many more tools are available with us, softwares are available with us. Still this chapter is introduced in the syllabus called as freehand sketching. So being an engineer, we should have a skill to draw the drawing freehand. So that skill we should have. So that we have discussed. Okay. So we have seen importance. Let us see quickly. We will recap. Then little deep. I will go. See importance. We have seen thread terminology. We have seen how to identify threads. Before that, we have seen which are the different types of threads. That also we have seen. Types we have seen. I will revise afterwards. Then knuckle thread. Up to this we have seen. Very slowly at first lecture of this chapter, I have taken very slowly so that so that uh, how we can draw the freehand sketching. So with the beginning, we have discussed what is freehand sketching and what is its importance. On first slide itself, it was shown what is the importance of freehand sketching. So here we have discussed, though there are a number of tools in a day-to-day life, if we want to go for to make rough sketches to convey a concept, if you want to go for rough sketch, you want to make a rough sketch, then immediately you can convey the concept. Then to more refined sketches of objects that are more complex. Suppose in practical you come across, suppose any drawing which is very complex, or you can say complicated, very difficult to understand that drawing. Then then we can go for to refine that drawing. Means complex drawing can be converted into simple drawing, very simple drawing we can say. We can break that drawing into simple components and we can have its actual drawing. So that was the one thing. Then to explore and communicate the mental concept that about in mind's eye means something is there in your mind which will be kept immediately on the paper. So that can be done by using this freehand sketching. Again, next point is freehand sketching quickly translate the image of the concept in the mind's eye. So I have given one a best example of industry. Suppose you are working in industry and a particular worker on the particular machine comes to a particular, we can say, doubt, or he is having certain fault in the machine. So suppose you want to solve his problem, or we can say fault on that machine, and he's asking about the help for you. So what you will do, suppose you are taking as an engineer, you are taking around in a shop floor, and particular worker has asked a particular doubt in particular one of the drawing, we can say. And so immediately you cannot reply that worker, so you should come to that cabin, workplace, etc. So being an engineer, what you have to do, immediately on that spot only you should give solution to that problem, whatever problem is there, by drawing by freehand. You cannot say now drafter is not with me, software is not with me, maybe scale is not with me. So by freehand you can draw the drawing on a rough sketch, a rough paper, and you can solve his problem. Also, in second section of this subject, we are going to study CAD drawings, different CAD drawings. So we cannot directly start the software, and we cannot draw the drawing directly. So before that, we should prepare somewhat. Before that, we should prepare somewhat rough sketch. Then only it is possible to complete that drawing. Okay, likewise this importance of freehand sketching is there. So in this chapter, whatever drawing we are coming across, all drawing we should draw by freehand. So that is our point. So not necessary to use scale, set square, drafter, maybe compass, etc. Nothing, not necessary to use anything while drawing a drawing, but only by freehand you can draw the various drawings. That is the concept in this chapter. Then uh, first point in this chapter, we have studied thread terminology. Thread in Marathi we are saying atya, means whenever you are coming across nut and bolt, it is having threads. Without threads, nut and bolt cannot be clamped together. It is as simple as this. So what is thread terminology? In thread terminology, again we have seen what is crest, root, flank, angle of thread, maybe screw thread, etc. So different threads. So mainly in BIS conventions we have seen, mainly there are two types of threads. Which are they? Number one is internal thread, another one is external thread. For bolts there are external threads, for nut there is a internal thread. So here in this sketch also, left hand is showing something like bolt, which is having external thread, and right hand side component is something like a nut, which is having internal thread. So by the arrow, all the terms are illustrated here. So what is crest, what is root, what is flank, then minor diameter, then pitch diameter, major diameter, etc. So all the terms are here. It is given how it is. Maybe angle of thread between two uh, flank or surface. Whatever angle is included, it is called thread angle. So we have seen the types of threads where angle is important and application is important, that we have seen. Crest means what? Topmost part of the thread. Root means what? Bottommost part of the thread is called root. Topmost part is called crest. Flank means surface. Whatever inclined surface is there, it is called flank. FLANK, flank. Then minor diameter, obviously it will pass through bottommost part, means root or external thread. Then major diameter, obviously it is going to pass through topmost part or crest. Then as far as threads are concerned, we have seen two terms. Number one is pitch and another one is lead. So let me check, is there anyone who can define these two terms, or anyone voluntarily? What is lead and what is pitch as far as threads are concerned? So we have discussed this. Ajit Gaikwad, is it possible for you to define what is pitch and what is lead? Hmm? Ajit Gaikwad, either say yes or no.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Ajit. Next Ajit. Ajit. No, the Wingle. What is that? Next one. Next Ajit. Aniket Kapse. Is it possible for you to define this pitch?
No, sir.
Hmm? No?
No.
Okay. Balaji.
The distance between alternative threads is known as pitch.
So, okay. 50% is correct. What is pitch? So two words are very important that I have told again and again as far as pitch is concerned. So it is the distance between. It is the distance between. It is the distance between 2 points. So I have told which 2 points. First thing is it should be a similar, and another that word is consecutive. Similar and consecutive. If such 2 points you will take, then only it is called as pitch. Otherwise, what will happen if you will take pitch? Suppose if you are defining pitch and you are defining it is distance between similar points. So one point may be on the first thread and another will be at last thread. So that 2 point cannot be defined as a pitch. What is pitch? Pitch is nothing but the distance between two TWO2 similar and consecutive point. So these two words are very, very important. Always you have to keep in mind. First one is similar, another one is consecutive. The distance between similar and consecutive points is called a pitch. It is as simple as this. So in this diagram, you are observing P. At the bottom it is written as P. It stands for pitch. It is as simple pitch. Then another term is actually it is not shown here in this diagram, but it is lead. It is called LEAD. Lead. What does it mean by lead? So anybody can remember what I have told? Anybody from our class? Kedar Yadav. Kedar, is it possible to for you to define lead?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody other? Anil Dongre. Anil Dongre is there?
Anil is there? No, sir.
Okay. Bhaijan, is it possible for you to define lead?
It's been confusing, sir, little.
Okay. Bhandare, Rohan, Bhandare, are you there? Say yes or no. If it is yes, yes. No, no. Suhas, is it possible for you to define
Yes, sir.
lead?
Lead is that part when the bolt is moving in complete rotation, the part which is engaged in nuts, that part is lead.
Oh, okay. Partially it is correct, or at least you got the concept. What is lead? So lead and pitch. So I have told these two are very important terms as far as threads are concerned. Whatever these terms are there. So what is lead? Suppose you have hold a nut in your one hand and bolt in another hand. Just you have hold. You have taken nut and bolt in your hand and you have rotated bolt through one complete rotation. So what I am saying, you have rotated one bolt through one complete rotation. So whatever advance is happen, advance means to go forward. In Marathi, it is called pude jane. If you have rotated one nut or bolt through one complete rotation, So whatever advance will happen, it is called as lead. It is as simple as this. Or you can define the distance traveled or advanced. The distance advanced by nut or bolt in one complete rotation is called lead. So both these are the distances you can remember. Pitch and lead. These both are distances. You please keep in mind. Lead is also one distance. Pitch is also one distance. But what is lead? When we are going to rotate nut or bolt through one complete rotation, the distance advanced is called lead. And what is pitch? The distance between two TWO, the distance between two consecutive and similar points. These two words are very important. Similar and consecutive. It's called it's called pitch. So whether you have got the concept, just check. So both these are the distances. One is pitch, another one is lead. So you can remember in both cases, these are the distances. But as far as pitch is concerned, it is the distance between two consecutive and similar points of the thread. And as far as lead is concerned, the distance traveled or advanced means पुढे जाणे, the distance traveled or advanced by nut or bolt in one complete rotation. So in technical interview in final year, so this term you come to across in technical interview. The HR may ask what is pitch of thread, what is lead. At that time we should be able to define these terms: what is pitch, what is lead. Okay. Then next we have seen different types of threads. So mainly there are two types of threads. So one is right hand thread. These are designated as RH, and another one is left hand thread. These are designated as LH. So as far as these threads, I have given example. Whenever you will come across nut and bolt, you can see either it may have a right hand or left hand thread. So depending upon orientation of threads, these are two types: right hand thread and left hand thread. So two methods are there how to identify threads. So there are two methods to identify these threads. So first one is right hand thread, left hand thread. How to identify? Number one, orientation of threads. Orientation method, we can say. First method is orientation method, and second method is rotation method. By depending upon its rotation also we can check which type of threads are there, or depending upon orientation of threads also we can check which type of threads are there. So now we can check here. So what is right hand thread? So as far as orientation is concerned, so one direction we have to fix, top to bottom. So whatever red lines are there, red lines, we have to check their rotation from where their lines are going from. For right hand threads it is going towards right hand, for left hand threads it is going towards left hand. So direction is fixed top to bottom. We should not check from bottom to top. So top to bottom we have to check whether lines are going towards right, it is right hand thread. If the lines are going towards left, then it is called left hand threads. Likewise, on the other hand, also, so you can check, on the other hand you can check depending upon rotation. We have told one formula, or we have defined one formula. So what was that formula? If you have hold one nut and bolt in your hand, nut in your left hand and bolt in your right hand. Suppose you have rotated the bolt in clockwise direction. So clockwise direction plus advance. Advance means going forward. Clockwise direction plus advance is equal to right hand thread. And if same formula, anti-clockwise rotation plus advance is called left hand thread. So here it is written left hand thread, it is written advance turn counterclockwise, or we can say anti-clockwise. So that simple formula you have to remember. What was that formula? Clockwise rotation plus advance is equal to right hand thread. Anti-clockwise rotation plus advance is equal to left hand thread. So this is as simple as this formula. It is the simplest formula which we have seen. Then Then we have seen different types of threads. So what are the different types of threads? We have started with this actually. So what was that? Number one is with worth threads. With worth, or it is called BSW threads. So as far as threads are concerned, as far as threads are concerned, we are going to study here. Number one is thread angle, the angle between two flanks. One is angle, another one is application. So that we are going to see now. Let us revise with Varta threads or BSW threads. So whatever structure it is showing, the threads are something like this. Okay, and the threads are something like this. And what is the angle for with Varta threads? Directly you can observe here the angle is 55 degree. Then what is the application of with Varta threads?
Leakage proof.
Correct. When we want leak proof applications, the component whenever fluid is transporting, etc. So when we don't want there should be a leakage, then in that case, these types of threads are used. It is called Whitworth threads or BSW threads. Then next we have seen Acme thread, or it is also called as ACME threads. So we have seen this also. So what was the angle? So angle you can observe. Angle many times this MCQ asked in university exam. The angle of Acme thread or ACME thread is 29 degree is the answer. So what was the application for these threads? Application, anybody? We have seen or we have discussed a lot at the time of these threads.
Benchwise.
Correct. Bench wise. So whenever that filing operation is there, filing. When you want to make smooth part by using file, maybe in your first year practically you have seen. So whatever component is used to clamp particular object, it is called as bench wise. So bench wise, I have told spelling also. What is the spelling of wise? VICE. To hold the component on the bench or table, table wise or bench wise, you can say. So that that is the application of this. Then we have seen square threads. So here we have discussed what is the thread angle of this square thread. What was the thread angle for this?
0 degree.
Zero
0 degree.
degree. 0 degree, because two flanks are parallel to each other. So here there should not be confusion. Thread angle is 90 degree. So what is 90 degree? The flank or surface of thread is inclined at 90 degree to the axis of thread, we can say, or it is perpendicular to the axis. Flank is perpendicular to the axis. That is the importance, we can say. It is having that importance. Flank is inclined at, or we can say perpendicular to the axis. So it was then application square thread. What we have seen application of this? Anybody?
Lathe
Lathe
machine.
machine. That is one application and famous application. Vehicle screw jack,
Vehicle jack.
or we can say jack or screw jack. When we want to lift the vehicle, whenever we want to replace wheels, etc. At that time, screw jack that component is used, which is having these threads, square threads. Okay. Then V threads. So actually it is having three names. V thread is sharp thread, or it is called metric thread. What is this? Screw thread, V thread. It is also called as metric, M, capital M. So angle you are observing on the PPT only. So angle for this thread is 60 degree. And whatever surfaces are there, are sharp. These surfaces are sharp. That's why it is called the sharp threads also. And it is the famous threads, or in day to day life it is always it is used. That's why it is called metric thread, M. So angle is 60 degree, and whatever common nut and bolts are there. So whenever you are going to come across nut and bolt, all types of nuts and bolts are having these types of threads. Keep in mind. Then we have seen buttress thread. Speciality of buttress thread is what? One of the surface is inclined at 45 degree, and another surface is inclined, we can say perpendicular to the axis. Means one surface is 45, inclined at 45, another is perpendicular to the axis. So angle is 45. So application we have seen. What is application? So application we have seen whenever there are malls are there. In malls, when we want to transfer power only in one direction. In that case, such threads are used. It is called as buttress thread to transfer power only in one direction. So whatever flank is there, 90-degree flank. So question may arise in your mind. Square threads are used in screw jack. Why? Why? Why not V threads are used in screw jack? Question may arise. Why? Because when two threads are fixed into each other, so whatever probability of slippage is there, slippage, slippage, slippage will not happen in square threads, but it may happen in other types of threads. That's why whenever there is a heavy load, in that case such square threads are used, we can say. So V threads, buttress thread. So inclined at one of the flank is inclined at 90-degree. Towards that direction only power will be transferred in the buttress thread. Then last threads we have seen, that is knuckle thread. So angle is 30-degree. And what was the application I have told? Anybody? Knuckle thread. Anybody can tell what is the application of this knuckle thread?
When we are using plastic nuts, that time.
Okay, plastic components we can say. Whenever there are plastic components, say I have given example or I have asked you to check plastic bottle. So whatever drinking water bottle is there, water bottle we can say, drinking water. So for that, you can check how cap is fixed to the bottle by using such threads. That threads are not sharp threads. These are very smooth thread we can say to avoid wear and tear of that component. In that case, such threads are used even to fix the bulb into socket. In that case also, such threads are used. Then water bottle, any other components. In diagram also you can see there is one rod having certain smooth threads and on which one of the plastic component is mounted. So to avoid the wear and tear. Up to this we have covered. Up to this we have covered all these things in this chapter. So actually it is only 5 to 10% part of this chapter. So we have seen importance of friend sketching. We have seen thread terminology, in which we have seen what is lead, what is pitch. Then we have seen types of thread, how to identify depending upon orientation and rotation. If line is going towards the right hand side, it is called the right hand threads. If it is going towards left hand, it is called left hand threads. Then if rotation, clockwise rotation plus advance is equal to, we can say, right hand thread. Then anti-clockwise rotation plus advance is called left hand thread. Then this we have seen 55-degree leak proof application. Acme thread 29-degree bench wise. Square thread 0-degree angle square screw jack is the application. Then V threads 60 degrees the angle, nut and bolt is the application. Buttress thread 45 degrees the angle and transfer the power only in one direction. That is the application. Knuckle thread 30 degrees the angle and passing towards any line, or we can say plastic component. Plastic component is the application. Then today we are going to see types of nuts. So this we are going to see today. So what is this different types of nuts are there? So if you'll see it in day to day life. So whatever nuts are there, these we know nut is having internal thread that we have seen in BIS conventions. So whatever nuts are there, these are having internal thread. So symbol also in BIS convention, I have told how to remember symbol. So internal thread, always this sentence you have to keep in your mind. Internal thread, internal circle is complete. External thread, external circle is complete. Basic concept. Nut is having internal thread, bolt is having external thread. So that is very basic. But whenever we are coming across various whenever we are coming across various these components, there are, depending upon application, there are different types of nut. But whatever nut we are using in practical, these are very simpler type. It is called hexagonal nut. So if you'll read this list, what are the different types of nut? One is hexagonal, another one is square, another one is flanged, cap, dome nut, wing nut, capstan nut, castle nut, lock nut, and knurling nut. These many types of nuts are there in practical. But we have to see now one by one what are the different types of nuts. Okay. Now, first one is hexagonal nut. So let us see this hexagonal nut. So this type of nut you have came across in practical many times. What is this hexagonal nut? The periphery of the nut is bounded by hexagon. So in top view, you will observe there is one hexagon. So orthographic projection will come into picture now. So right hand side there is one hexagonal nut. So just you have to see its top view and front view. So top view and front view you have to draw. It is as simple as so. Actually dimensions are not given. Thickness. So whatever D is shown in the top view, D, capital D, it is called nominal diameter of the nut. Whatever D is, it is shown, it is called nominal diameter. So as I told just now, nuts are having internal threads. So in top view, are you observing internal circle is complete, external is incomplete? So this sentence always you have to remember. Internal thread, internal circle is complete, external thread, external circle is complete. So as nuts are having internal thread, internal circle is complete. Okay. So thickness of this. So actually dimensions are not shown here. So in front view, that thickness or how we can say height of this nut should be T is equal to D, where D is nominal diameter, and whatever D is called, it is called as nominal diameter. So internal thread. So what is hexagonal nut? So in day-to-day life we are using this hexagonal nut. What is that hexagonal nut? Hexagonal nut is nothing but it is bounded by hexagonal periphery, we can say. That's why it is called hexagonal nut. Okay, then square nut. Another one is square nut. Square nut is bounded by square. You can see how it is. Shubham, do you want to ask something? Shubham, Shubham. If there is problem, you can ask. So see carefully. What is
No,
no?
sir.
Then see carefully. Square nut you might have seen, and this. Sorry, hexagonal nut. So what will be the difference between this hexagonal nut and square nut? These two types of nuts you might have seen. So how to decide now which type of nut? You can say these two types of nut. Hexagonal nut is bounded by hexagon and square nut is bounded by square. So here also you can observe in top view. Here also you can observe in top view diameter D is shown. Okay. So can anybody apply the bind and tell what will be the how to decide which nut we have to use, square or hexagonal? What will be the difference? When to use hexagonal nut and when to use square nut? Function is same for both. Clamping. Nut and bolt are used for the clamping purpose. So who will tell now? Let us apply the mind. Huh?
ज्या ठिकाणी नट फिरू शकत नाही त्या ठिकाणी स्क्वेअर नट वापरावे.
फिरू शकत नाही.
फॉर एक्झाम्पल पिनला,
कुठं?
स्विच बोर्ड मधल्या पिनला,
स्विच बोर्ड मधल्या
पिनला नॉर्मल पिन असते ते.
हा हा फिरू शकत नाही म्हणजे
कॉन्स्टंट ठेवता येतो. आतल्या बाजूनी त्याला स्क्वेअर टाईपचा होल असतो, त्यात कॉन्स्टंट ठेवतो.
ओके
आपण
ओके
बोल्टला तेवढं फिरवू शकतो. मग
काय करू शकतो?
बोल्ट तेवढा फिरवू शकतो.
ओके बरोबर. So this was the absolutely correct answer. Whenever we don't have space, or we are not having, we can say, there is a limitation of space. In that case, or we cannot rotate the nut. In that case, if you have seen, nowadays now modified motors are there, electrical motors. Earlier days, whenever their motors were there, it is having one stuffing box. म्हणजे, you might be knowing there is one thread. That thread is different now. In motors there was thread. In Marathi it is called रस्सी. म्हणजे एखाद्या मोटरनं पाणी सोडलं असं म्हणतो आपण. In FM practicals you are come to know that. So what was that thread? Means whenever we want to tight that thread, म्हणजे आपण म्हणतो मोटरची रस्सी गेली, रस्सी. So what was that thread? When we want to tight it at that place, instead of rotating nut, when we have to rotate bolt, in that case these square threads are used. Keep in mind only this. Otherwise function is same for square nut and hexagonal nut. When we want to rotate, when we want to rotate bolt instead of nut, in that case square nuts are used. Otherwise function is same. So whatever here dimensions are not shown actually. So whatever this height is there, it is equal to d in top view. You can remember this height. Then there are two terms are there, two terms. So let me, very important, the distance, it is standard. Which has the, so this to this, whatever this distance is there, this distance is standard, and it is called width across flat. Two flat surfaces are there. So whatever these two flat surfaces are there, this is equal to, always remember this standard again, 1.5d. Just I will try to write here, 1.5d plus 3 plus 3. This distance always, many times it is asked in exam. So what is this distance? It is called thickness, or we can say width across flat. This distance is called 1.5d plus 3. What is d here? D is nominal diameter. It is shown at the center. So here it is shown d. That d we have to take. So width across flat is 1.5d plus 3. And this distance is called width across corner, because two corners are there for hexagon. That two corners, and it is always equal to this 2d. It is always equal to 2d, we can say 1.5d plus 3 and 2d. This distance we have to remember. And as far as this is concerned, this thickness of the any nut, we can say thickness of any nut is called t, and which is always equal to d. This d, it is always equal to d. T is equal to d. This we have to remember for this hexagonal nut. Three things. What is the thickness of d? It is equal to nominal diameter d. Suppose we have purchased M10 bolt, M10 we can say. So what will be the width across flat for M10 nut? I have shown here. Width across flat 1.5d plus 3. So value of d will become 10 for M10 nut. Value of d will become 10. So 1.5 into 10, 15 plus 3. So 18. The width across flat will become 18. And so what will be the width across corner? 2 into d. Value of d is 10. 2 into 10, 20. It is as simple as this. So how nut and bolts are specified by M10, M11, whatever, M12. These are the standard nuts. So value of d will become in front of that M. Suppose, for example, for M, maybe any, suppose M12 nut is there, M12. This M12 nut, if you will take M12 nut, so automatic value of d will become 12. Sorry, value of it will become 12 like this. And so you have to just go for modification. Three dimensions we have to remember for hexagonal nut. One is thickness. Thickness is equal to nominal diameter. Flat Width across flat 1.5D plus 3. Width across corner 2D. Likewise, we have to remember these three terms are very, very important. Similarly, here also, same is here. Width across corner 2D. Again, whatever this will come, whatever it will come, again here same 2D. It will become 2D. Same. Then here already it is shown D. So it is nothing but it is equal to T. Same here, equal to T. And here width across flat, here it is shown W. So here we can say same 1.5D plus 3. Same terms are applicable here also. So only little difference is there between these two. Then third type of nut is flanged nut. So third type of nut is there. It is called as flanged nut. So what is this nut? It is a simple hexagonal nut. It is simple hexagonal nut. Only at the bottom there is one washer, or we can say one of the flange is attached to it. So what is the flanged nut? What is the flanged nut? At the bottom there is one flange. Means it is not only nut. Nut in a combination with flange, it is called as flanged nut. There is a combination with flanged nut, flange and nut. That's why it is called flanged nut. What will the application of nut? So whatever washers are there, in Marathi we are saying visor. So I will show, it will be there somewhere. So shear washers. In technical term, it is called as washer. So here nut and bolt is shown. So here there is one nut and bolt. In between, there are washers. These washers are used. These washers are used for tight sitting of the object, to fit tight. So if you'll see, for that purpose washers are used. So here that we will see once it will come across, we will come across these washers. So wiper washers are used. Number one, purpose of washer to tight fixing of nut and bolt. Number one. So here there is a washer, we can say this washer is here, or we can say this washer. So if you'll see, so you are studying, sorry, we are studying what? Hexagonal nut. So here flanged nut. So what was the purpose of this washer? So in SOM you are studying F is equal to, sorry, sigma is equal to, not F, sigma is equal to, what is sigma? Stress is equal to, what is formula? Stress is equal to force upon
Area.
Area.
F upon A, or we can say P by A. So you might have used a P notation. Okay, I will make P. So in a practical, what is the use of this? Suppose now once we are going to use these washers in a combination with nut and bolt, what that washer will do? This washer will do, this washer will increase contact area, or it will distribute the force. So once in this formula, if area is going to increase, so what will be the effect on stress? If this area is going to increase, what
Decrease.
will be?
Stress will decrease.
Stress will decrease, correct? So this stress is going to become decrease. So that's why such flanged nuts are used. Or a simple question may arise in our mind: why for washers are used in a application? So answer will be to distribute the tightening force and to reduce the stress on the component. So once you are going to use such structure of nut, once we are going to use such structure of nut, it will reduce the stress on the component. How? Question may arise: how it will reduce the stress? Because it is increasing contact area. So whatever contact area will happen with this nut, it will be obviously more than this, we can say this washer will be more. That's why, it is increasing contact area. So automatically stress is equal to force upon area, or P by A. Once A will increase, stress will increase. So it will, in such cases, flanged nuts are used. What is flanged nut? Flanged nut is nothing but at the bottom there is a one flange. Then dome nut. So in in figure only you can see what is a dome nut. So dome like structure is there, we can say dome like structure. When end of the bolt, when we don't want that end of the bolt should not come outside the nut, then such structure is provided on the nut. It is called as dome nut. So actually there are two types, dome nut and cap nut. So depending upon structure, so what the type of structure is there. So this structure, it is something like dome shape, we can say this structure is called dome shape. It is the nut only, it is the nut only, means this part is our regular nut, this is our regular nut only, this is our regular nut only. This extra part is added top, this extra part is added at the top, it is called as dome. That's why, that's why it is called as dome nut. So what is the purpose of dome nut? When we don't want end of bolt should come outside the nut, then it is called dome nut. Means whenever we are going to fix, we can say nut from sorry, bolt from this end, that end of bolt should not come outside to avoid the injury, etc. Whenever there are machines, what will happen? Whenever there are machines are continuously running, so there may be the chances of injury to operator. So to avoid that injury to operator, this end of bolt should not come outside the nut. At this place, such dome nuts are used. It is called as dome nut. Similarly, cap nuts are there. Cap nut. Here, this bottom part is same. These bottom parts are same for the nut. Only at the here there is a, we can say, cap-like structure is provided at the top. Cap-like structure. It is called as cap nut. So purpose is same for a dome and cap. Only structure difference is there. So whatever cap and dome nuts are there, structure is same. We can say little difference at the top. Bottom structure is same. Little structure is different at the top. That's why it is called as cap nut and dome nut. Same purpose. What is purpose? When we don't want end of bolt should come outside the nut, it is called cap nut. Then wing nut, very famous. Wing nut. What is wing? Wing means, we can say, projected part. When there is a projected part and when we want to avoid it, so just check whether you have seen such type of. Is anyone has seen such type of nut in practical?
Bike, back brake,
Huh? Where?
brake, bike brake,
Bike brake. Again,
bicycle,
bicycle. Where bicycle?
back tire,
Where?
पाठीमागच्या टायरच्या वरती असतं.
Okay. Have you seen hexa? करवत पाहिला का hexa? Hexa. So for hexa, such type of nuts are used. Or if you have seen, we can say stove, stove. For stove also, we can say such type of nuts are there. So what will be the purpose? Have you seen hexa? Anyone?
Yes,
Huh?
I have seen.
Okay. So what will be the purpose for hexa? Even for stove, when we want to put kerosene into stove. So nowadays stove are nobody is using, but you might have seen whenever when we want to put kerosene into the stove, at that point also such types, not such, little different structure is there. That structure is used. So what is the purpose of this wing nut? Actually, when there is a frequent adjustment of nut, frequent adjustment of nut, then in that case, wing nuts are used. Always adjustment is there, always. Means when we want to avoid use of spanner again and again, So whenever we want use of spanner, to avoid use of spanner again and again, in that case always it is necessary, always it is necessary to loose, or we can say to tight that nut. In that case such type of nuts are used. It is called as wing nut. Always we can so application of such nut is, application of such nut is, one of the application is wing nut is hexa, I can say. Always frequent adjustment is required. So you can remember in short, whenever there is frequent adjustment, in that case wing nuts are used. So always remember. One of the example I have shown it as hexa. Then capstan nut. Capstan nut. Another next type is capstan nut. So what is specialty of capstan nut?
सर आवाज ऐकू येत नाही.
What is specialty of capstan nut? If you'll see this capstan nut. So earlier nut. So what is this capstan nut? Periphery of the nut is bounded by, we can say, round shape. It is a round shape. When suppose we are having one of the mechanical component, any mechanical component, and we want to drill uh, different holes on that periphery. So capstan nut, what is that capstan nut? So it is when there is one mechanical component and we want to drill holes on the periphery of that component. So by marking, so what is drilling operation in our mechanical engineering, when we want to drill particular holes, etc. So what will happen? What will happen? We have to mark that holes. Then we have to drill one by one. So practically it will take more time, or it is time consuming operation. So whenever we want to drill holes on a particular component, such nut is used. Why? Because this nut already it is having different holes on its periphery. So you can see there is one hole here, there is one other, here also there is another. These holes are there. So these holes, in what way we can go, we are going for drilling operation? Simply what we are going to have, simply we are going to tight this nut on another component and we are going for drilling operation directly, because this nut is having already drills. No marking, nothing. We are not going for its marking, etc. Nothing. Directly we are going for its drilling. So such type of nuts are used. Capstan nuts are used for drilling purpose, we can say. It can be used for drilling purpose, capstan nut. Then ring nut. Another name of this nut is retaining nut. So if you'll see bicycle handle, so at that, when two components, or even at the place of, we can say, uh, pedal, bicycle pedal, at that position also such type of nuts are used to retain the component or to hold the component with the assembly. Such type of, it is having such we can say, it is having such what we can say, slots on the periphery. So such type of nut is used in bicycle at the place of, we can say, handle, and at the place of pedal. At that position, such type of nuts are used. It is called as ring nut. So actually, uh, to let us, we can say, there is one spanner, something like this. Maybe here there are two knobs, we can say. Here is another knob, and here there is one another knob. So it is called as C spanner. So here there is one knob. We can just rotate it. By rotating this, this distance can be adjusted. So what is the name of this spanner? This distance can be adjusted, maybe less or more. So this spanner is called special C spanner. So whatever our earlier spanners are there, what is the name of this? Maybe we can say something like this. Uh, What is this? This spanner. This such type of spanners are called flat spanner or simple spanner. It is called as C spanner. We can say C spanner. And here our simple spanner. Even one more type is there. It is called as ring spanner. So for tightening this type of nut, C spanner is used for adjustment purpose. Okay. Then castle nut. Castle nut. It is called as castle nut and split pin. So if you'll see, so actually at the top there is one castle nut. Nut is shown here. Nut at the top. Nut is shown, which is having slots, different slots. It is called castle nut. And at the bottom, actual assembly is shown. How it is used in practical. Castle nut, and the name is castle nut and split pin. So here there is one name. Split pin. Castle nut and split pin means what? This pin. So whatever we can say, so it will be something like this. Split pin. Maybe something like this. Maybe here and here, that is whole like this split pin. So here it is used. Where it is? Here it is split pin. This pin is used along with this component. So what is this castle nut? Castle nut is nothing but whenever there are frequent vibrations in a machine. So due to vibrations, etc., what will happen? This nut may get loose from the from the bolt. For that purpose, what is done? Such slots are provided on the nut, and this pin is used. It is called as split pin. That split pin is used so that it will not get loose due to vibrations. Keep in mind, it will not get loose due to vibration. That's why this pin is used. So whenever actually here assembly, so one important thing, so whatever nut is there, so only if I will draw this nut, so this nut is only this much, so this much. So remaining is bolt. So here you are observing this bolt. So whatever this is there, it is a bolt only. This is bolt. B, I will write here B. Bolt. Here that is split pin. So I will write here P. And where is nut? Here it is nut. Sorry, here. Nut. This is nut, pin, and bolt. Like this it is there. Combination. So if you will see now top view. So what is expected in top view? Internal circle should get complete or external should get complete. So here there is one, we can say, contradictory thing. That's why I am here telling. So whenever you are observing this assembly from the top, you are observing first as a bolt, not nut. At the center you are observing bolt, not the nut. That's why here external circle is complete. So at the center, keep in mind here external circle is complete, internal is incomplete. External circle is complete, internal is incomplete. That's why. So in all earlier cases, here you can see, in all cases internal is complete because it is having internal thread. Internal complete. Here also internal complete. So here there is no top view, no top view. Here also internal complete. Internal complete. Likewise, in all cases internal circles are complete. Only in this case castle nut, here external is complete. Why? Because whenever we are observing this assembly from the top, we are observing first bolt. That's why for bolt external threads are there, and for the external threads external circle is complete. That's why here external circle is complete. Likewise, then another one is lock nut. So this you have seen maybe in practical many times. What is lock nut? What is lock nut? So whenever there is one bolt, on single bolt, two nuts are fixed. So are you observing nut 1 and nut 2? This is number 1. I will write 1. This is number 2. It may be same or different. You can say I will write here 2. 2. two different nuts are fixed on a single bolt, it is called as lock nut. Two different, we can say, or two nuts are fixed on a single bolt, it is called as nut 1 and 2, lock nut. So have you observed this mechanism even in a practical? On a single bolt, two different types of nut or two nuts are fixed on a single bolt. Have you seen practical in lock nut? Such, there is one bolt on which two nuts are fixed. Hmm? Anybody? Misal? Have you seen misal somewhere? This Shanay show. Abhijit, am I audible? Abhijit, hello. Rakesh, Birazdar, am I audible or not? Sachin Sutar,
Audible, sir.
am I audible? Shivani, am I audible? Saurav,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Hello.
okay. So have you seen this application? Either you should say yes or no, so that have you seen this lock nuts in ever practical anywhere? On a single bolt, two nuts are fixed. On a single nut, on a single bolt. Sorry, on a single bolt, two nuts are fixed. Have you seen tires of maybe bus or truck, etc.? Ever?
Yes, sir.
So how many nuts are used? How many nuts are used for fixing that tire?
2 or 3.
Wheel, two or three, we can say. Wheels, we can say wheels. Two nuts are used. Why? Because that bus is always moving, or it is, we can say, always running. Bus or truck. That wheels are always rotating. So due to vibration again, that probability is that they may get loose. They may get loose. So to avoid that loosening, for tight fixing of that nut, such type of nuts are used. It is called lock nut. What is purpose of lock nut? What is purpose of lock nut? To avoid loosening due to vibration. That nut should not get loose due to vibration. That is the first purpose of lock nut. And application is bicycle tire, or we can say bus truck, etc. Wheels. Even you might have seen how the mirrors of two wheelers has fixed with the handle. You will see that also, because when our two wheeler is moving, there are vibration on the handle. That mirror may get loose. You will see carefully a simple example of two wheeler mirror. How that mirrors, even famous example of mirror is having left hand and right hand threads. So that I have forgotten. So whatever mirrors are there for two wheeler, that mirror is having left hand and right hand threads. Always keep in mind. If you rotate both the mirrors in one direction, one will get loose, another will get tight. You keep in mind, because if you want to fix mirrors in the on the handle, so both should rotate in opposite direction. One is having a right hand thread, another way is having left hand thread. So you can have this practice if you are having a two wheeler. So you can check, if you will rotate both the mirrors in one direction, you will come to know that one is getting loose and another one is getting tight, because it is having different threads. Similarly here, lock nut. What is lock nut? Lock nut mechanism is what? On the single bolt, two different types of nut are fixed. Why? To avoid loosening of that nut. How it will be avoided? One nut is fixed on the bolt first, then another nut is also fixed. Once they are going to touch each other, once they are going to touch each other, simply they will rotate in opposite direction so that they will get fixed tight. Another application we have seen this here, how that loosening of nut is avoided due to vibration. It will not become loose due to vibration. Here split pin is used. That pin will not allow this nut to come out from the bolt. Here split pin will be used to avoid the loosening, but there is one single bolt. No two bolts are no two nuts are used. So here in this mechanism, two nuts are used to avoid the loosening. How, what is that mechanism? Purpose is what for lock nut? To avoid the loosening of nut due to vibration. To avoid loosening of nut due to vibration. And what is this mechanism is what? First one nut is fixed, then another nut is fixed, and they will be rotated in opposite direction. And lastly, knurling nut. What is this knurling nut? What is this knurling nut? So we have seen in BIS convention. What is knurling? We have seen in BIS conventions. What is knurling? There are two types of knurling. Can anybody tell? Two types of knurling we have seen. Or I will tell what is knurling. You'll tell me types. Knurling is nothing but
Diamond.
how correct. One is diamond knurling and another one is
Straight.
correct straight knurling. One is straight knurling. What is this? Rough structure is provided on the periphery of nut or any surface. It is called as knurling. KNURLNG. What why for it is used? To have a firm grip, we can say. To have a firm grip, this type of structure is provided on the nut. It is called as knurling. So here, which type of knurling is there on the nut? Whatever figure is shown, straight or diamond. Diamond means crossed and straight means straight line. So here you are observing on the top view. So here straight lines are there, vertical lines. So we can say simply we can say here straight knurling is used. Straight knurling. Okay. So knurling nut. So if you have seen bicycle, whenever we are filling the air through that wall of the bicycle, at that point also there is one nut. So whenever there is internal threading, we should say it as a nut. So that nut is something like this, we can say. So for that pump also, such structure is provided, such a nut is provided. It is called as knurling nut. So at the bottom, so whatever this nut is there, this nut is provided at the bottom to avoid slippage, we can say. Okay, these many types are there for the nut. So how many types we have seen? Almost 11 types of nuts are used in the practical. 11 types of these types of nuts are used. Then shall we go for types of bolt? It is also similar to square headed, hexagonal, T headed, cup headed, rack foundation, eye foundation, stud, washer. Shall we go next? Or shall we take revision? This chapter is the largest chapter. Hmm? Shall we complete bolts? Types of bolts?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have seen nut. So 4 5 types are there for the bolt. So what the way we have seen? What the way we have seen? For the nut, internal threading is there. For the bolt, external threading is there. Okay. So here, whatever bolts are there, again, first two bolts are something like our square-headed bolt and hexagonal-headed bolt. So actually, these bolts are. So you can see the list first: square-headed bolt, hexagonal-headed bolt, cup-headed bolt, T-headed bolt, rag foundation bolt. One more is there, eye foundation bolt, and last one is stud. Like these types are there. So first two are common types again. So here, so bolts are mainly divided into two parts. First one is this head of bolt. So I will write here head, and it is called as shank or tail. Shank, shank, shank. So head of the bolt is bounded by square periphery. That's why it is called as. So here you are observing there is a square. So square headed bolt. And here shank or tail. We can write tail also. Tail like this. So this is tail. So whenever there are two lines, these two lines, so we have to remember there is a threading. So whenever whenever machine components it is having such two lines 1 mm, hardly 1 mm apart, we have to remember there is a threading. So here there is a threading, we can say there is a threading like this. So square headed bolt, head of the bolt is square, and shank as simple it is shank. And what is there in hexagonal bolt? Head. So here you are observing head is bounded by hexagonal. So same dimensions whatever I have told this head. So same dimensions will be applicable. So are you observing one difference in nut and bolt? Whatever the symbols is there at the bottom inside view or at the center, are you observing symbol? So bolts are having external thread. So which circle should be completed in case of bolt? External or internal?
Outer.
External, or you can say outer circle. So as bolts are having external threads, external circle should get complete. So here also external circle is complete. Here also external circle is complete, internal is incomplete, like this. In square headed bolt, so here you can remember this 0.2d, total length is d, 2d. So this nominal diameter d. Then hexagonal bolt, so whatever things we have told, similarly here also applicable. Hexagonal headed bolt, head of the bolt will be hexagon, and this tail will be like something like, we can say, flat one. So whatever two terms I have told in hexagonal nut, this 2d. So how much I have told this width across flat, how much it should be as far as. So this I have told width across corner 2d. So width across flat for hexagonal nut or bolt it is same. So how much we have told or we have discussed, or we 1.5 1.5
1.5 T.
1.5 d plus 3. So we have discussed it here. Width across corner. These two things are very, very important as far as nut and bolt are concerned. Hexagonal nut. Width across corner 2d. Width across flat 1.5d plus 3. So this always it is asked for multiple choice question. Width across corner from today you have to remember. Width across corner 2d. Width across flat 1.5d plus 3. And thickness is equal to d. This thing also you have to remember. Same thing is applicable for hexagonal nut. Same. So here width across corner 2d, and it should be how much? What is that? How much it should be? 1 point. Sorry, 1.5d. Here I will write 1.5d plus 3. Similarly to hexagonal nut. Same to hexagonal nut. 1.5d plus 3. Same. Then T-headed bolt. What is this T-headed bolt? Actually, so whenever there are milling machine, etc., machines are there. Machines. In that machine, whatever its bed is there, machine bed. So that machine beds are having T slots. How? How it is having T slots? Something like this, this, Sorry, maybe. It is called T slot, inverted T, maybe like this, huh? So this will come hatching. This part will come as a hatching line, hatching. So it is also hatching. It is called the T slots in machine. It is called T slots. So whatever this part is remaining, it is T, but it is inverted. Inverted means ulta. So this T is not, is something like this. It is called T slots. This is called T slots. Or I will show here T slots. How that T slots are there in this way. T slots. So these are the T slots are something like this. Okay, so that nut is directly kept in this here. So it will be something like this. That component will be kept here. Whatever component is there, it will be kept here in this way. So I will go for different hatching for component. This component will be kept here, and here there will be one nut like this. So nut will be fixed here. So in this way, whenever we want to put component on this, so it will be used like this in T slots. So meanwhile, you remember these T-headed bolts are used in milling machine to hold the component on the machine bed. It is called with the T slots, we can say. Such slots are there for machine bed. Such slots are there for machine bed. On that slots, such bolts are used. Okay. Then cup-headed bolt. So why it is called cup-headed bolt? Because its head is something like cup. This cup shape head is there, cup shape. That's why it is called cup-headed bolt. This head is, so have you seen somewhere such type of nut or bolt? Sorry, bolt. असे पाहिलेत का कुठं bolt? Have you seen such type of bolts somewhere?
Yes.
Where?
दरवाजा.
Correct. Again. So now you are not on benches. So our benches are there in classroom. For all the benches, these nuts are used for fixing. So in first year that benches are different, little different, but once you will come in mechanical department, so our benches are having these type of nuts. So what is the application of these type of nuts? When this head is their head, this head should not come the above the surface. Means whenever you are writing on the bench, so that head should not disturb you because it should not come above the surface. In that such cases, such type of uh, bolts are used when we don't want head of bolt should come above the surface. Then in that case, such type of bolts are used. So famous example you will see once our college will start, you will see our benches are having this type of nut. So that head of bolt is below the surface. It is not above the surface. You can see once college will start, our benches are having all these cup headed bolts. That wooden part is fixed with the bench with this type of bolt. When what is application? When we don't want head of bolt should come above the surface. That is the application of cup headed bolt. Then another one is rag foundation bolt. There are two foundation bolts. One is rag foundation bolt, and another one is I foundation bolt. This bolt, as the name is foundation, these bolts are used in. So just remember why for these bolts are used. Number one, these bolts are used for fixing the machine with their foundation. So these bolts are not possible to see by naked eyes because it is below the foundation, or you can say in the foundation. or it is below surface earth level. It is in foundation. So in this diagram, you are observing the cement, concrete, etc. So concrete. So here there is a concrete. So it is in concrete like this. Here also it is in concrete. I will write simply C. It is in concrete. It is below the earth, sir. Here there is our earth surface, we can say. Below this it is there. That's why it is called as foundation bolt. Purpose of both the bolt is purpose of both this bolt is to fix the machines with their foundation. When we want to fix any machine, with their foundation is called foundation bolt. So what is this rack foundation bolt? It is something like here structure is shown here. Structure is shown. In the structure at the corner of that bolt. So here serrated part is there. Serrations, we can say projected part is there. Here also it is there. Projected part. Due to these projections, this nut will not come out of the foundation easily due to these serrations. Serrations means projections. That's why it is called foundation bolt. So this bolt is something like this. So this is washer. I will write W. So this is nut. I will write N, and this is bolt. So I will write here B, like this. This much components are there. So whatever this total diagram is there, total, this is the assembly. This total diagram is not only bolt. There is one bolt, nut, washer. This is machine part. I will write here M, like this. M, machine. Here washer. Here bolt. Here nut, and here concrete. Like this structure is there. If you want to see only bolt, it is here. That bolt is here. Only bolt. Separate bolt is shown. And what is the purpose of rack foundation bolt or any foundation bolt? To fix machines with their foundation. That is the purpose of bolt. Similarly here, what is the working principle of this rack foundation bolt? Corner at the corner edges, serrations or projections are provided. These projections will not allow bolt to come outside the foundation. That is the working principle of this foundation bolt. And this another bolt is there, I foundation bolt. Here also same. So whatever the structure, you can see carefully how it is. So have you seen this I foundation bolt somewhere? Whether you have seen such type of bolts somewhere in practical, I foundation bolt? Anybody?
Earthing.
Earthing
Earthing, sir.
means you can say electrical pole. If you have seen electrical pole, to hold that electrical pole means you might have seen you just suppose there is one pole something like this. Here there is earth level, maybe. And whenever we are giving some we can say here support, so here is something like this, something.
ताण
Ah, again.
ताण ताणसाठी वापरते ते.
Ha, in that case it is something like this. Similarly, it is used in machines also to give support to the machines. What is the working principle of this I foundation bolt? This is I, and one cross is used. So here at the center there is one cross, so that it will not come out easily. So again here this is bolt. What you are observing here, we can say this bolt. Then here there is nut. I will write N. Here there is washer. I will write W. Washer. Here machine. I will write here M. Machine. This is machine part. And here concrete. So already I have written here concrete C. So this type of I foundation bolt or rack foundation bolt, these bolts are used to fix the machine with their foundation. So likewise it is used again here concrete, etc. But here What is the working principle or mechanism of this bolt? How it will not come outside of the foundation? Because one cross is used here. Cross is used to avoid coming of that bolt outside the foundation. That bolt will not come easily outside the foundation. That is the working principle of this bolt. And last one is stud. Last one is stud bolt, or it is also called as headless bolt. So earlier as I told, bolt is divided into two parts. One is head, another one is shank or tail. So case in this case stud, there is no head. Headless bolt, it is not having head, it is only having shank. That's why it is called as stud or bolt. So if you will observe here, so in this diagram, if you will observe in this diagram, so here there is no head. At the both end, nuts are there. Both ends are having nut. There is no head in this. In this, we can say there is no. Uh, we can say head in this. Only threading is there. Head is missing here. That's why it is called as headless bolt stud, or simply it is called as stud. So this part is called a tenon. So you may not be possible to we can say tenon means head, tenon. It is called a tenon. Tenon plus stud will become square T-headed bolt. So whatever these slots are there, so what the way I have told, this milling machine is having something like these slots. These slots are from this you are going to observe this. Here slots are there. Here one more slots are there. So what the way I have told, how these slots are like this. Like these slots are there. So it is used in a combination with tenon on the machine bed. So like this. It is used with the combination with tenon on the machine bed like this. It is called as stud. And today's last part is washer. So as we know, I have given or I have told what is washer. What is washer? Washer is nothing but to increase the contact area, or we can say contact surface. So what is the purpose to increase the contact surface while tight fitting? What is the purpose of using washer? As we know, in MOM, you are studying sigma is equal to P upon A. So already we have discussed, as A is going to increase, as as A is going to increase, stress is going to decrease like this. It is as simple as this. Why the purpose? Number one, to increase contact area, and to have a tight fitting. That is the purpose of this washer. So according to this formula, sigma is equal to P by A. When A is going to increase, sigma is going to decrease. That is the washer. So here assembly is shown of nut and bolt, in between which one of the washer is used. So up to this today we will stop up to this washer. So lot of things we have studied today. Washer to increase the contact area. So if you see the diagram of this washer, so you will come to know that different dimensions. This innermost hole is D plus 1, outermost the diameter is 2D plus 4. Thickness of washer is 1.5 D plus 0.15 into D. So D is missing in this. What is D? So D will be, we can say, suppose we have used M10 nut, M10 like this, M10 nut. So if we have used this M10 nut or bolt, this nut or this bolt, we can say, for M10 bolt, so D will become 10. The remaining dimension of washer directly you can calculate. D is equal to 10. So inner this diameter will become 10 plus 1, 11. This outermost diameter will become D is equal to, put D is equal to 10. 20 plus 4, 24. It will become 24. And this thickness of washer will become simply 1.5, 1.5 whatever, 1.5 mm. So it will put D is equal to 10. Like this washers, we can find dimensions of washer. Means if suppose you are using washer for M10 nut, M10 nut, so innermost diameter should be greater than 1 mm. So D plus 1. It should not be 10 mm bolt and 10 mm washer. So it will not get fixed into each other. Into each other. Okay, like this till today we have seen. So what we will do, I will take attendance first, then we will revise the concept what we have studied. Okay. So one by one, everybody should give the number. Rahul Khadke, tell your number.
13.
Next, Abhijit Kukade or Kukade something. Abhijit,
4 number.
4. Ajit Gaikwad,
19. 19.
19. Abhishek. Sachin Sotar. Sachin is there. Rushikesh,
18 sir. Sachin Sutar.
किती?
18.
18.
हाँ.
Okay. Next, Rohan Bhandari. Rohan. Not there. Sainath Kharade.
9. Roll number 9 sir.
Okay. Those are your
67.
67. Saurav Pawar.
Roll number 1, sir.
Roll number
1.
1. Okay. Misal Shanishaur.
34. 34.
Okay. Shivani. Nani.
63.
63. Shubham.
हाँ.
Shubham. Shubham.
35.
हाँ. अनिकेत कब से?
28.
हाँ?
28. 28.
हाँ. Who is telling 28?
कब से?
What is your name? Where is Abhijit?
ऋतुजा कब से? ऋतुजा कब से?
Okay, हाँ. दीक्षा आधे मिले.
45.
30?
40, 45. 54. 45.
Okay. Next, Saurabh. Edge. Ikade or something.
49.
49. Gaurav Karande.
61 sir.
Okay, remaining you can give on chat box. So,
Sir, 65.
65.
Yes sir.
68 sir.
हाँ.
37 sir.
37 sir.
हाँ.
6, sir.
48 sir. Roll number 50. 50.
50. Roll number 41. 46.
Sir, 48.
Roll number 6, sir.
हाँ
40.
Sir,
Down,
5.
noted down all the numbers.
Roll number 35, sir.
Roll
Roll
number
number 40.
Okay.
59,
48,
sir.
sir.
Hello, sir.
हाँ
17.
who is 17?
Sir, Rushki Deshmukh.
Okay. You can leave now. Those who have given attendance, you can leave. Afterwards, we will take a revision. Now time is not there.
Sir, roll number 58.
Sir,
Taken.
Roll number 50.
48, sir.
Okay, taken. You can leave now. No problem.
48, sir.
Taken.
Sir, roll number
2.
3.
हाँ
Sir, roll number 53.
it is taken.
31, sir.
हाँ
14, sir.
who is 31?
Swapnil Ubale, sir.
हाँ taken. You can leave. हाँ
Sir, roll number 58.
हाँ you can leave. हाँ
Sir,
Sir,
14,
roll
1.
number 59. 59.
हाँ taken.
35, sir.
35.
Yes.
हाँ again.
Sir, 14, sir, 14.
हाँ
2, sir. 14, 14.
1-4.
Yes, sir.
हाँ taken.
11.
1-1 taken. You can leave.
2, sir, 2.
Who is 2?
Shubham Gandule.
Okay. हाँ you can leave. हाँ
Sir, 34, taken.
हाँ
34.
40.
34.
How much?
34.
34. 3-4.
हाँ.
Okay. हाँ you can leave. No problem.
Hello.
हाँ
5, sir.
5.
हाँ.
हाँ okay leave. No problem. You can leave.